Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present my research, and the title of my research is E-readiness measurement in the virtual application learning. In this research, me and three of another researchers named Satya Chandra Wibawa and Martini Dwi Enda Susanti, and then the last is Edi Sulistyo. We are all from Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Okay, first the introduction. We all know that in early 2020, all of the country in the world was being shocked about coronavirus disease 19, or can call COVID-19. So Indonesia spontaneously implement policy of learning from home, working from home, and worshiping at home. Higher education during the WFH period needs to strengthen online learning. And Universitas Negeri Surabaya already has e-learning and has been used as a form of learning called UNESA's V-learning, or we can call it VNESA. Lecturers at the Universitas Negeri Surabaya in particularly have used VNESA both in the form of uploading document called semester learning plans to lecture materials, as well as in online learning activities such as discussion and assignment submission. And then e-learning readiness. The development of distant learning content is something that must be done by teachers during the COVID-19 pandemic. By conducting this research, it is hoped that lecturers as provide and pillars of learning content at LMS Vinesa will know more about what should be done. Besides, it can also be used as input for the Universitas Negeri Surabaya e-learning team to be able to equip lecturers in managing learning content in LMS Vinesa. Okay, so in this research, we have three research questions. And the research question first is the content of the course material on Vinesa support distant learning. And then research question number 2 is the maximum interaction between lecturers and student is done in Vinesa. And then the last research question is Vinesa evaluation is easy to understand and transparent. So the method that we applied is qualitative method, qualitative approach to conduct phenomenological qualitative research because we expected to comprehend the profound situated social circumstance, draw patterns, and investigate the popularity of Vinesa as a medium for distant learning. The issue of research topic were identified based on the interesting phenomenon which was happen in society. Information, theories, and previous research were conducted to establish the basic theories involved with research topic. Respondents for this study focused on students, especially students majoring in informatics engineering in Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Data were collected through a questionnaire survey. The data used for research include initial data, which is useful for formatting problems, and primary data used to assess e-learning readiness. Primary data were taken from the study population by distributing questionnaire to students. So, finding of the research discussion. For the first research question, the content of the course material on Vinesa support distant learning. As much as 75.7% of respondents agree that the content of learning material in Vinesa was easily understood by students. Meanwhile, 18.9% of students disagree with this. As many as 73% of respondents agree that the content of learning material in Vinesa was easily accessible to students. Meanwhile, 18.9% of students disagree with this statement. 62.2% of respondents agree that the content of learning material in Finessa were easy to apply in completing assignment or evaluation. Meanwhile, 29.7% disagree with this. So, most of the respondents state that the content in the form of lecture material in Finessa support distant learning. However, there are still some respondents who disagree with this. From the responses they gave, it can be analyzed that Finessa needs to make improvement to the user interface. The user interface is still monotone and unfamiliar because it is to written instruction rather than graphical instruction. Can also display a more minimalistic arrangement of writing, namely in the form of graphic and sound, so that students who are currently Generation Z are easier to understand. Then the next analysis, there needs to be an adjustment between the appearance of the website accessed using a PC or laptop with the appearance of the website accessed using a mobile phone. It is also supported by its application on iOS. So, Finessa, honestly, today it's still only used by Android user. iOS user still cannot support it with this e-learning. Okay, for the second raised question, the maximum interaction between lecturers and student is done in Finessa. As much as 81.1 of students state that they had no difficulty interacting with lecturer through Finessa. Meanwhile, 18.9% disagree with this. As much as 89.2% of students state that it was easy to ask questions to lecturer through Finessa. Meanwhile, the other 10.8% disagree with this. As much as 78.4% agree that the instruction given by lecturers in Finessa are very clear. Meanwhile, the other 16.2% disagree with this. So, most of the respondents agree that the interaction that occurred between lecturer and student in Finessa were well facilitated. Another minority state that the opposite of this. Their response regarding this matter was based on the assignment given by a lecturer to the student, without knowing the feedback by them. So, it is necessary to make media or feature that can accommodate this aspiration. Lecturers are also expected to be able to monitor student activities during the course, with the hope that students can immediately ask questions or provide responses if they find difficulty or ideas on the material. And the last research question. Finessa evaluation is easy to understand and transparent. As much as 78.4% of respondents agree that the evaluation technique on Finessa is easy to do. Meanwhile, the other 16.2% disagree with this. As much as 83.8% of respondents agree that it is very easy to evaluate Finessa. Meanwhile, the other 10.8% disagree with this. As much as 81.1% of respondents agree that evaluation assessment was transparent enough. Meanwhile, the other 30.5% disagree with this. So most of the respondents state that the evaluation feature provided by Finessa are easy to use and transparent. Most of the other experience their disagreement. This is influenced by the absence of a statement regarding the right and wrong position in the answer. Besides, it is not accompanied by correct answer, so they can learn in the future to be better understand in the material. Conclusion of this research. The findings are the user interface can be designed using graphic and sound, not just sentences. And second, provide a forum for students to ask questions and provide response responses from the course material given. Lecturers are expected to be able to monitor student activity during distance learning. And the last is there is direct feedback on the result of student evaluation. Future research can also add more factor to Chapnik's theory. User classification can be done to measure user satisfaction in all stakeholders so that input for the development of Finesa in supporting distance learning can be felt by all participants. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This is my contact if you wanna know me more and if you wanna ask some question. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.